Hello, everyone. My name is Charles Moore, and I am the director of the Executive MBA Americas program at Queen's University. We're just waiting for some people to join the session. They're filtering in, so we will begin in about 20 or 30 seconds. Great. I think the numbers have started to slow down. So welcome everyone to the webinar this afternoon. We're really excited to have everybody here. We've been brainstorming about what kind of content we can share with our prospective students and our enrolled students. And we've all kind of come together and decided that really advancing your career is why most of the students are entering an executive MBA. And we thought this is a great opportunity to introduce the team, to learn about how the career services team work. And I was excited to see on the list of the students joining today that many of them are enrolled in our program already and will be beginning the Americas program on the 19th of June and the national program in August, so very soon. So this is a great opportunity actually to kind of think about your career goals, to reflect on what you want to accomplish in the executive MBA before you start to get inundated with a lot of course content, because it's going to come quickly. So now's a really good time to think deeply about your career. We have two alumni joining us today, Jenny and Saeed, and we're going to hear more from them later about their career transitions and how they use the career services team at Queen's. But I think they would agree with me that this is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity for an executive MBA student to really reflect on their career, where they've gone, where they're going, and what they want to accomplish in the next few years. So I think before I turn it over to Sophie to take on, I would just wish everybody would take some time to think about what they want to accomplish in this program. And with a clear focus, we can really help you a lot. And with that comment, I'll turn it over to Sophie Turner, our Manager of Career Services for our Executive MBA programs. Over to you, Sophie.
Thanks so much, Charles. Hello, everybody. As Charles mentioned, I'm Sophie Turner. I am joined today by some of my wonderful colleagues, Jennifer and Nick, and each of them will be taking a little bit of airtime to help describe some of the attributes and benefits of working with the Career Center, and also to talk about some of the trends that we're seeing in the career advancement space that may be of particular interest to you, regardless of what your career goal is. And as you can see on the slide, Charles had mentioned both Saeed and Jenny will be joining us, and it'll be good to see them again. I haven't seen them both in a couple of years, so looking forward to that conversation as well. So why don't we begin? So exciting news. For 2 years straight, our Career Center has been ranked #1 in Canada of all MBA programs within Canada. And our MBA program is always ranked in the top 100 in the world. So we're very proud of this. And through all of the work, effort, and the committed staff, the coaches, the relationship managers, our operations team, we've helped to enable students and alumni to succeed in their career goals. For example, almost 50% of students see a double-digit growth in their salary. A third progress into a new function or into a new industry, and even another third increase their seniority within their organization. So again, it doesn't matter what your career goal is, we are here to help support you with that. So with that said, part of the approach that we take in the Career Center is our Discover, Build, Launch framework. This particular framework is designed very intentionally and is structured to have a particular curriculum that doesn't matter when you drop in or out of it. You can come in and there's still value for you to learn and absorb content. Through this approach, whether you're looking for that internal promotion, if you want to develop your brand, change your positioning or your perception about you in your professional environment, if you're looking to start your own venture, change cities, change industries, functions, whatever it might be, this process, we've got it down to a science, and Jen will walk us through what some of that science looks like shortly. But with that said, there's a lot of different things to explore, and some of it is on the screen. One-on-one coaching. We have events where corporate partners come in, where alumni comes in. You get to engage and interact with them. we have developed and continually develop our career management foundation tools, which mean we have specific modules that cover every element of the life cycle within the career environment, from the things you would typically expect, like interviewing, networking, LinkedIn, things like that. But also we have a lot of AI tools, things to help you prepare your technical skills. For many of you, even your case interview skills, which are becoming extremely important in this environment. And then lastly, Nick will speak to this, is our experiential learning. We have incorporated a ton of interactive webinars and such, but through Nick and his team, they're creating environments where you can go out and gain real world experience. So I won't go into detail with that just yet. Before we move on and before I hand it over to Jen, just want to help set the framework. In the last 3 years, the market has changed. But prior to the pandemic, the market has already begun massive change. And so part of how we approach interacting with students and alumni is that we incorporate this change real time. So that means we invest in AI tools. We invest in getting the right people at the table to talk to you. And so through some of the different innovations that we bring, this is what helps to keep our rankings at #1 in Canada for 2 years in a row. So whatever your career journey is, please connect with us. I know on this call there are students that have already enrolled and perhaps some that are still considering. Happy to have conversations with you. And at the end of the session today, or probably in a couple of days, you'll get a copy of my Calendly link. And feel free to book some time with me, and I'm happy to have that conversation with you to discuss what your specific needs might be. But with that said, I'm going to turn it over to Jen.
Thanks, Sophie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So I'm Jennifer Felice. I'm one of the coaches on your amazing program, one of the career coaches. So Nick and I are going to take a little bit of time to talk to you about, some of the trends that Sophie had mentioned earlier on, and talking about how career advancement has evolved. So I'm going to ask Nick if he could speak first to the experiential learning component, and then I'll take you through the other 4 segments. Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Jen and Sophie. And so my name's Nick Gregg. I am the Experiential Learning Advisor here at Smith. And I really just wanted to share a few trends in experiential learning and just talk a little bit about how our team at the Career Advancement Center is growing and expanding to include the experiential learning team. So we are a team that's formed last year to help create even greater connection between students and Smith's industry and community partners. And so to back up just a step, experiential learning refers to the process of learning by doing. So our team helps offer students opportunities to engage in experiences beyond the classroom to participate in hands-on learning opportunities. In particular, there are 3 ways that the experiential learning team is helping support EMBA students. So the first that I want to talk about is through our internship program called the My Tax Business Strategy Internship. And this program offers organizations a funding incentive to hire EMBA students for flexible 4-month work terms, which can be completed at any time during the year and throughout your degree. And so through this program, students are connected to a project advisor to help support them through this experience. And the EL team also works to source internship opportunities and provide students with resources to help them go and source their own internship at a company desire. Secondly, the EL team, the Experiential Learning team, supports EMBA students by sourcing partner organizations for the Global Business Project. So as many of you may know, the Global Business Project is a core component of the EMBA program, and really involves students completing a 500-hour team-based consulting project for a client with a global business-focused challenge. So our team helps ensure that these projects are high quality and that we're sourcing the best possible partners to help students have meaningful experiences. Lastly, our team helps design and deliver school-wide experiential learning opportunities such as hackathons and case competitions, which we encourage EMBA students to take part in. Great. That's it from me. Over to you, Jen.
Thanks, Nick. That's fantastic. So In addition to that, something that you always want to think about in terms of when you're thinking about your long-term career management, because that's really our focus for you in supporting you with that long-term career success. It's essential to develop in-demand skills. For example, as Sophie mentioned, case interviewing is not for consulting anymore. We are seeing it across industry and across role. And we provide tools and access to consultants to help you prepare for that interview process. Upskilling, micro-credentialing, badging, you may see over the last 6 to 12 months, an increase in badges on LinkedIn. These are all ways that you can show your commitment to expansion from a growth and learning perspective. And many of these things are just becoming table stakes. What have traditionally been called soft skills are really not so soft anymore. Effective communication, leadership, courage, leading remote teams, storytelling. These are just some of the competencies that make a strong leader that organizations are increasingly looking at, and they really speak to fit. So that brings us to, social capital, pardon me, or building your social capital. A high social capital is important, not just for companies, but for individuals as well, right? Because it fosters trust between colleagues, it helps organizations run through smoothly, and it helps companies improve retention. So in short, it helps achieve goals. Networking realistically is how your next role will most likely be found, especially the more senior you evolve in your career. So it's important to develop that network and connect directly with hiring leaders and recruiters. It's essential to communicate your fit, not just through technical expertise, but also personality, values alignment, and thought leadership, which brings us to, LinkedIn, which is a channel to do that effectively. So, ensuring that you're not just on LinkedIn, but you are intentional about why you're on LinkedIn and what you want to get out of it. Of course, EDII in the workplace. Smith School of Business is committed to cultivating a vibrant, diverse, and inclusive academic and work environment rooted in a culture of mutual respect and equity. We recognize that access, equity, and inclusion is vital to developing global citizens with the broad knowledge, skills, and perspectives needed to contribute meaningfully to society, as well as advancements in business. So EDII considerations need to be top of mind in how you manage your staff and engage with colleagues. And we have modules, content, clubs, and a strategic focus as a school community to support students and alumni in navigating their EDII engagement. And last but not least, AI. Companies were, AI from a recruitment perspective, companies were moving in this direction pre-pandemic anyway. But what the pandemic did was give them a very real reason to embrace technology and implement it quickly. So some organizations today, like Walmart, Scotiabank, Unilever, don't even accept resumes in some cases. They have alternative screening processes in place of a resume. So what does that result in? It results in a de-emphasis in the reliance on a resume alone. So how do you manage? How do you manage in that space? AI algorithms are involved in the decision-making around who a solid potential candidate is for a role. So how do we work with that? How do we work with that new normal? So these are just some of the trends that we're seeing and some of the ways in which career advancement has evolved. So what we're going to do now is move to our panel. Sophie, did you have anything to add, or Nick, before we move to the panel?
No, actually I do. The AI piece.
Yeah.
Sorry, this is one I'm really passionate about. The AI piece is a really big element. As is the social capital. You need to be aware that algorithms are helping you find another job. As much as it is about networking, how you engage online is important, because there's lots of AI tools out there that are really changing how people are found and proceed past the screening stage. I make up that for those of you on this call, perhaps you haven't really had to engage with an AI tool yet, and you've relied on your resume. That was fine back then. It's not fine moving forward. So this is one of the big things we really emphasize at the Smith School of Business and the Career Advancement Center, is to help you navigate those waters.
Great, thank you. Nick, anything to add?
No, nothing for me. That's great, Jen. Thanks.
Great, fantastic. Just wanted to make sure before we move on. So now we're going to move to the panel portion of this webinar. And we have Saeed Kazemi with us and Jenny Kular. So before we pop into the questions, would each of you like to just give a brief introduction of yourself? Jenny, may we start with you?
Thank you, Jen. My name is Jenny Cuellar. My background is in engineering. I have been working with the mining industry for about 10 years. It was mentioned before, I have been in South America and America and representing Canadian companies overseas. I work in project management and I graduated in 2020 with the Americas program.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Saeed?
Hey everyone, thanks Jen. So my name is Saeed Kazemi, and my background is in computer science. My undergrad is applied math and computer science, and I've been in technology, leadership, and telecommunication industry for many years. So that's started the MBA, Executive MBA National Program in, I believe, 2020. And in fact, my convocation is in June. So just finished in February. And right now I'm working in BCAA, British Columbia Automotive Association, and Evo Car Share. I lead the mobility technology team there.
Thank you. So Saeed, we'll stay on you for the first question. How did you decide on Smith?
That's actually the decision to start with Smith was done over a couple of years. It wasn't done like, just like in a month I decided to go. So over years when I was in TELUS, so I did a career shift, was in the technology. I've always been in my life in technology. So I moved to the business side in TELUS, in their business solution department. And there when I found that I just need to kind of have a different level of skills to deal with all the other aspects that I'm kind of not familiar with. And I started to look into different MBA programs. And then I just basically, through a network, also with some of my colleagues that went to the MBA, I decided that with the Smith School and entered the national program. And I have to say that's one of the best decisions I actually made. It helped me greatly and build a great network, a lot of friends, and up my skills a bit.
Great, thank you. And Jenny, how did you decide on Smith?
An MBA was always in my bucket list. At that point, I have checked like 5 MBAs in Canada, and actually the Americans program combined key elements. Like first, it has great reputation, the leading business school, Johnson and Smith. And the second one was the classroom setup and the locations. I was working in Chile at that time. Now I am in Canada, but I travel a lot, so the setup was perfect for me. And I decided on that right away. And the same like Saeed, has been one of my great decisions in my life.
That's wonderful. Thank you. So Jenny, how was your experience in working with the Career Center?
Fantastic. I have 2 coaches, one-to-one coaches, one from Smith, one from Johnson's. I work with Sophie a lot and Liz, and they help me, well, like they mentioned, with resumes, cover letters, the LinkedIn page, but they also help me to sharpen my skills for interviews. I have been always like a very technical, deep expertise, and so to move at senior level, I need that little push.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Saeed, how was your experience working with the Career Center?
Yes, of course, similar to Jenny was very amazing. My story was a little bit interesting because in 2020, I actually, my career with TELUS ended, and I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? But I still had the MBA going at the time, and MBA is extensive. It's a lot of work. So I reached out to Gloria, our program director national, and then she get me in touch with Sophie. So Sophie helped me with the assessment and everything. And then, of course, I get to work with you, Jennifer. That was great. As you know, I'm a big fan. So Jennifer just like helped me a lot. So we, not only the assessment, but, we kind of started to work on resumes. My resume is very technical based. So a lot of focus on technology and the shift I wanted to do. So she helped me with that. The branding on the LinkedIn, I have no idea. I had some stuff there, but the look that the Jennifer and Sophie and her team do are different. So they look into things in a different perspective. So it helped a lot. And in fact, Jennifer and I worked on a very complex interview that I had, which was 5 hours long, and she helped me a lot. So that interview was legendary. I always have the notes from that we, Jennifer and I worked on it, and I actually use it in many other interviews because we covered a lot of items there. So it's just the confidence that the Career Center gives you and the resources, and you know that you have somebody that to just practice your interview, check your resume and everything. That's that I think it's a lot. It's worth a lot.
I'm embarrassed. Thank you. So the next question is, both of you sort of alluded to it, but Saeed, we'll stick with you. How did your coach support you? You mentioned some areas. Were there any other ways that you wanted to highlight?
I think that's, just basically working with the coach on a couple of items, I would say. One was that where do I want to go from here? So I had multiple options. I could just stay with technology. I could continue on the business side, and working on those assessment results together to kind of feel that, where do you want to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And the other aspect was the branding and practice interviews. It's just, things change in the industry, as Jennifer mentioned in the slide. The methods that the company use to just find new talents change all the time, and it's very good to be able to work with the Career Center with your coach to find out, okay, like how do I need to prepare? How do I need to share the knowledge that I actually know I have? So I just need to show them that I have that, and then I think that's where the coach and the Career Center can help.
Thank you. And Jenny, how did your coach support you?
I think I agree with Saeed. Is the Career Center helped me to link the dots in my professional career, right? Like I have all this expertise and all this year of experience, but they help me to find my passion, my strength, to articulate my strengths in a way that when I present it, the reader or the person who is looking at my resume feels identified with me.
Fantastic. So what would you say then, Jenny, is your biggest takeaway from your interaction with your career coach?
It was like a self-discovery, like I mentioned before, to articulate my strengths. I have it there. I have a list, I know, but the way they help me to present that, especially Sophie, and my passion, I have been holding that and presenting in a different way that the people can see it. Before, I feel like more shy to present my strengths.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Saeed, what would you say your biggest takeaway is from the interaction with your coaches?
Basically, I agree with Jenny, and just connecting those dots, being able to showcase your career and your skills and your expertise. And I also felt that the confidence that I gained that just do a, run the interview that with, in my case was Jennifer. So, see what she thinks, and, where do I need to kind of focus on. It's always very important to have a different perspective on the answers that you feel it's important, but somebody would look at it and say, no, you should focus on these areas more. And those soft skills that she mentioned, and now turning to hard skills, that's true. And then I kind of, the Career Center and Jennifer, my coach, kind of helped me with that. So.
Great, thank you. So Sahid, how has your career evolved?
Well, after, my career with TELUS, I basically just start thinking about what do I want to do. And of course, that was when the Career Center, as I mentioned, work with you guys. So then I, of course, moved to BCAA as a mobility technology leader. And the way that I feel I'm right now contributing to the company that I work, like I basically use up everything that I learned, most of the things that I learned during my MBA career. I also always had a passion. I had a side business before when I was in TELUS, and I just, I sold my business and I started MBA, and I focused on my career. And I kind of felt after going through MBA that I need to start that. And interesting enough, going through all those assessments and looking at things, I kind of also, that was a trigger for me to also start my side hustle again. So it was in different areas that helped me. So.
Oh, fantastic. That's exciting. Jenny, what about you? How has your career evolved?
I moved to more senior level. I moved from deep area expertise specialist to lead multidisciplinary teams, not just to provide technical support, but also direction to stakeholders with other backgrounds, because now I'm managing a strategic project. So I have to talk with the finance, the CEO, CFO, et cetera, et cetera. So now I have more confidence when I talk about that. Also with the MBA, I find that it got me, I have now more entrepreneurship mindset. Not that I necessarily want to have my own company, but help me to identify opportunities. And when something doesn't go right, I just overcome the issues and learn from setbacks. So I think that mindset is new since the MBA.
Wonderful. And panelists, this is the last question that I have for you. So Jenny, how has your professional brand evolved since the program?
I think the MBA helped me to optimize my professional brand and to stand out from many resumes. I think when people see my background, even I am looking for technical position, for example, they are interested in the MBA. Queens is very well known here in Canada. And yeah, they see me like a go-to person now.
Fabulous. Saeed, same question. How has your professional brand evolved since the program?
I agree with Jenny. Not only, of course, the name of the Queens kind of carries a weight when they see your MBAs there, but I also feel that Queens also have this thing that when you go and you interview with an organization, usually you find somebody in their Queens and they kind of feel what you go through. They just, oh, you're Queens. Oh, you must be going through a lot to get an MBA. The skills and the knowledge and the confidence all of course, highlights and how your professional brand evolves, but also what I feel the difference when I was the leader in TELUS program executive on, the business side, I felt I was like missing certain areas. For example, I was computer science and math, always have been in consulting computer science, and financial, I wasn't quite there. And then after going through the program, I felt that I built that knowledge. So now in the current organization, I have, no problem working with certain areas that I used to just try to kind of didn't have the right knowledge or right skills to kind of work on those. So I think my brand evolved in different areas. And of course, the to Jenny's point about the courage to kind of start an entrepreneurship, and that's true as well. Like, after going through MBA, I kind of felt that, like now it's the time actually I can do that. And I have a different level of skills and tools that I can use for my new startup. So.
Wonderful. Thank you. Well, this concludes the formal portion of the panel conversation, but and thank you both for your honesty and your transparency and your valuable responses. But now we're going to open the floor to questions, and those questions are open to, any Smith staff as well as the panelists. I'm unable to see if the chat or if there's any hands raised. So if there's someone who is able, let me see.
Yeah, I'm just looking as well.
Okay, I can see it. Any credentials, certifications held by said coaches. So in terms of us, Cam, I'm assuming you mean what are the credentials and the qualifications of the coaches? Yeah. So every coach is a certified professional coach, certified MBA coach. We're all certified in coaching. Plus, we also come to Smith with experience in industry. Many of us have our MBAs or other masters. There's really a wide spectrum of coaches open and available to you, all from diverse professional and academic backgrounds. Sophie, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I was chuckling over here because of like, Cam, what list do you want to see? We have so many different certifications, all of us each, because we bring different specialties to the table as well. To Jen's point, we come with yeah, exactly. Laugh out loud. But I'm not kidding. We seriously have several different types of modalities to work with students because you are also diverse. The type of learner you are, the skills that you might want to be working on. So we're trained in different ways to help draw all of that out of you so that we can help you move beyond it, I think is just probably the easiest way to say it.
The next question is, can I ask a question? How is the interaction with coaches, most in person or virtually?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Prior to COVID, obviously, a lot of the interaction, because both of these programs are not central to Kingston per se, meaning it's not a full-time residential, you live there. You can live wherever you are in the world and still engage with us. So that part could be virtual, but when you are together as part of your residential, we are also there. So we're there to deliver content. We're there to have one-on-one face-to-face coaching appointments. So it can be a combination of both, but again, depending on where you are. Just for example, Jen and I happen to be based out of the Toronto location. So if you are also in Toronto, we can meet at the Smith location downtown. So there are different options, and we have virtual coaches that are also in different time zones. So that could be an option for you as well.
Do we have any other questions? Oh, here's one. How do intern terms work if you already have a job? Does the prospective company work around your schedule?
That's a Nick question.
Yeah, I could take that. So with the MyTax business strategy internship, we have the way that opportunity works is it's actually quite flexible. And so you're paid similar to a consultant. So typically your 4-month work term has kind of project objectives or objectives kind of at the end of that opportunity. And so there's no formal hours associated with the opportunity itself. So we have some students who are working kind of 3 hours a week, some students that are working 25 plus hours a week. And so if you find the right employer, you can kind of work with them to dictate what the work terms will be and to work around a full-time job. We've certainly had students do this in the past.
Wonderful. Do we have any other questions or any questions for the panelists as well?
Okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions, I just wanted to thank everybody for participating in the call today. For those of you online and to all of our panelists, we value and appreciate your time. We're here to answer questions for you. I think both between Saeed and Jenny, we're considered your strategic thought partners. We're here to help link your past to your present to your future, to identify those gaps, to help you work through them so that your communications, your confidence, all sorts of different skill sets are honed in a way that serve your career goals. So please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. As I mentioned earlier, I think with a follow-up email, I'm not sure what day it's going to go out, a Calendly link will be sent out that if you wanted to book some time, please go ahead and do so. I think that's all I had for now.
We have one more question that just came in. Yeah.
Wonderful.
How do relationships get brokered with prospective companies that students want to work with?
I can take that one. And great, actually, Vishal, is that more of a general question or one for Nick that's more around the experiential learning? Because it might be two different answers.
I think our answers will be aligned, Sophie.
He said it's for you.
It is for me. Okay. All right. Well, what I'm sure Sophie was going to mention is that as part of our Career Advancement Center, we have a corporate relations team that is quite robust and works extensively to broker relationships with employers in all different sectors and industries. And so this is the business strategy internship is one opportunity that they present to those employer partners to support them in their recruiting efforts at Smith. As well, our team, the Experiential Learning team, sources projects as well as internship projects as well. And so we will work closely with the corporate relations team to help support them through the funding incentive and the applications to post opportunities for internships to students.
Actually, I will add to that the slightly different piece. Even though, Michelle, this isn't what you were asking, part of the onboarding process, as I'm sure many of you will experience going through an academic program like this, there's a lot of different forms to fill in. And one of the internal platforms that we use, we call Quest. And when you register for the first time, we ask that you fully complete your profile so we have a better understanding of what you're thinking about in terms of your career, particular industry, particular city. And then to link it back to what Nick was saying, we have our corporate relations team by industry, which will cover more in orientation, but across all the different industries. If there's a ton of new students that are coming in and they're indicating they want to get into product management, that team will then go out and find product management roles and companies that really focus in that space so that you can meet them. So that's the kind of collaboration and interaction we have across students, alumni, corporate partners, and our corporate team. So hopefully that just helps to expand it a little bit more.
We got a question that came in through chat. Do you have a list of reoccurring firms Queen's has partnered with in respect to the internship?
Yeah, so great question, Belinda. We don't have a public list of the firms that have participated in the internship program. However, we have had employers from all walks of life and shapes and sizes. And so everything from kind of startups to nonprofits to large organizations. And so the opportunity itself is open to all Canadian companies or Canadian entities. And so we've had all different types that have participated in the internship program.
And another question, as you get to know the students, do the coaches make suggestions for opportunities?
In theory, yes and no. So we will never say, Jenny, perfect, let me connect you with this guy, because they're going to hire you. I've told them about you. We don't do it that way because that shows favoritism. And we're about helping to enable you to have those conversations. We will, however, say, there's a new company coming in, or there's such and such opportunity, that networking or whatever, you might consider signing up for it or registering. So we'll create the awareness and help make some introductions, but we won't show the favoritism that way. That isn't what we do at any university, to be very frank. Just so you're aware, we can make the connections, we can help make those introductions, but that's about as far as it goes from there. Hopefully that answers it for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think that may be all the questions.
That's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
Once again, thanks everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you very much.